Okay, this class is going to show you how to write an offer. To begin, first you need to sign into Zip Forms. And there are multiple ways to do this, and I'm going to show you from both MLSs how you're going to write an offer. If you're going to be putting in an offer from a property that's in the NJMLS, there is a quicker way to do that. So you would find the property on NJMLS. Right here at the top, you would click Start Contract. This will open up the Zip Forms and it will pre-fill most of the information. The next thing you want to do is go to Documents. Click on the transaction cover sheet. This is where all the information you're going to fill out, and it will pre-fill the contracts. As you can see here, it already pre-filled the selling broker information, which is me representing the buyer, and the listing agent's information, so that I don't have to go back and forth and add that. It didn't put in the seller's information, but I'll show you how to do that. So what you would need to do here first is put in the buyer's information. So 23 Main Street, we'll do Main Ave, Clifton. Email address. Okay. And that's good there. You don't really need the cell phone number or anything, but and then also, oh, I forgot the zip code, 07001. Okay, and then we'll just do the wife. Great. And then her email address. And also what we will do is we have that, and then you're going to need the seller's information. So how to find the seller's information, you would go to tax, and you would find it here. So you have first and last name, so we'll just copy that, and then that's the additional, which is probably the wife or the spouse of the seller. You go back, we know it's Sal. And then their address. Now, this is very important. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the address you're putting is the owner's mailing address. That is the address that they have on file. Doesn't always mean it's the address of the property. We will put the address of the property later, which I will show you. So this is the address, 171 Prospect Place. Usually 99% of the time it's going to be the address of the actual property. 171 Prospect Place. So 171 Prospect Place, Rutherford. Okay, click it. It should import everything. And then you also need to go back, click on the tax again, and you should have the second person. Oops. Do the same thing. Good. That should be good for now. And then you want to always make sure it saves, or click Save, go back. And then we're just going to go through all these documents to make sure that they're completed correctly in order to submit a proper offer. CIS. Okay. You're going to put your name, which it should be saved. name of the brokerage, Realty ONE Group Legend, the relationship with the client, usually it's the buyer's agent only. If it is disclosed dual agent, just to let you know, that's even if you're not representing both the buyer and seller, but you're representing the buyer and the seller is being represented by the same office, then it would be disclosed dual agency. Save. Just go back because informed consent to dual agency. You need this signed, like I said, if you're representing both the buyer and the seller, or if the firm is representing the seller and you're representing the buyer. You would need this signed. Okay. This is for the title relationship that we have, and you can do this later, but this is all pre-filled, so you can put this in. So let's say, for example, on this property, we're going to be offering, let's just say 800,000. You can send this so that you can keep the relationship with the title company and your buyer, put in the attorney's information, and everything that is required, okay? And send that out for signature as well. All right, contract of sale, most important. Make sure that you're selecting the relationship. Everything's good here. Listing broker, just do a drop down. The listing agent should be there. You're the selling broker and prepared by you. Okay, next. Here's a part that most agents leave blank, and you need to make sure that you don't. It reads very clearly, John Smith and Sue Smith, who live at 123 Main Ave in Clifton, agrees to purchase from Sal and Maria, whose address is, this is their mailing address. And the property that they're going into contract for is 171 Prospect Place, Rutherford. Like I said, it's usually the same thing. And you need to put here the town, Rutherford, and the county is Bergen, block and lot. Usually the block and lot gets filled out automatically from NJMLS. If not, you can find it in the tax records. Okay, let's talk about the offer itself. 800,000. Let's say that your client is putting down 20%. 800,000 times 20% is 160,000. What you want to do is do additional deposit. It depends on how much your client wants to win the offer. So for example, maybe for something like this, you'll split it down the middle, or you'll just give a good amount of a deposit. This deposit will be due after attorney review when the contract and the deal is officially under contract. So let's just do easy numbers here. We'll do 60,000, and they're going to be mortgaging. We'll do the math. So 800 minus 160,000 is 640,000. 640,000. That's 20%. That's their mortgage. This is their down payment. 60,000 plus 100,000 is 20% of 800,000. So they would give 60,000 once the deal has been accepted and out of attorney review, and that's usually within 5 days after attorney review. This is the mortgage, 640,000, which means they would have to bring 100,000 to closing plus their closing cost. We'll do it here. Additional deposit, usually if left blank, within 10 days after the fully signed contract has been delivered. That's fine. You can leave it blank. The attorneys are going to change it during attorney review anyways to a shorter time period. Trust account. Where is the deposit of 60,000 going? Usually they want it in the seller's attorney account. So seller's attorney. Great. What type of mortgage is it? So, for example, the principal amount. That would be $640,000, and it's a conventional mortgage. You explain what kind of mortgage it is. 203K, that is a construction loan, FHA, VA for veterans, and other would be like cash or something like that. It's 30 years, 360 months. So how many months in the years, depending on the mortgage that they're getting. Written mortgage commitment, that is when the bank has to give the mortgage commitment for the buyer. That I usually leave blank. Only if the closing is going to be in 30 days, then I will shorten that period by 15, but usually I just leave it blank. Let's say we're going to do a 45-day closing. That's the balance of the purchase price. So what we would do is go 1 month, right? So it's April 20th, May, and then 1, 2. That's about 45 days. Make sure you're not doing it on a weekend. So for this, it's fine. We'll just do June 3rd as the closing. Items included in the sale. So this should be negotiated or discussed with the listing agent. You can do as per MLS. You can double check to see if things are included or what is included. If you're not too sure on that exactly what is included, then you can ask. But you can do as per MLS, or usually I say appliances, or you can ask what the appliance is or what is included in the sale when speaking to the listing agent. Possession date, balance of the purchase price. You should definitely speak. I'm just going to go backtrack here for a second. You should definitely speak to the listing agent or make sure you're reading the MLS. It says 61 to 90 days. That's the type of closing that they want. So they want 61 days to 90 days closing. So we can edit this, but so we could just say 60 days or 61 days. So that would be June 21st. That's what that date would be. Unless agreed upon something else after discussing with the listing agent. Dates and times of performance. This is the buyer selects, which is the title company, which we're already having that document filled out. This is something that they've just added to the contract. So they want to know who the title company is. Certificate of occupancy and zoning. Usually I just leave that blank. 1.5% of the purchase price. Sellers have the right to terminate, or the buyers have not been notified. Municipal assessments. The type of house it is. This is a single family. If it's a two-family, you would write it out. So, tenancies. This would be for tenants. So usually for multifamilies. Applicable, not applicable. If there's people living in it, you need to put the tenants' names, or at least the address, the rent, the security deposit. Are they on month to month? Things like that. In this case, we'll just do not applicable. Lead-based paint. If the house was built before 1978, usually you want this to be signed. Even if it's renovated, it's asking for when the house was built, not when it was renovated. So even if the house is renovated, I would still put applicable if it was built before 1978. In this case, we would just click tax again. And the year built was 1933. So this is a renovated house, but I will still put applicable to make sure that we're covering ourselves. Inspection. This is the time the seller shall have to sign and return it to the buyer. So this is the negotiating part of it. Usually it's just 3 days if left blank. You can leave that blank. Sometimes I tend to just try to fill it out so it doesn't look like everything's blank, but it's up to you. Poet systems. This is for the water treatment system. You don't need that. Cesspools. Don't get this confused with septic tank. This is something completely different. Usually there are no cesspools located at these properties or any properties in New Jersey. It's very, very rare, but this is not considered septic. Radon testing. This is radon testing. This is for termites. Usually this happens during the inspection period. What this is asking is how long for the inspection. So in this case, usually everybody wants 7 to 10 days. 14 days is a long time unless it's a very large house or a big purchase. Then you probably can just get away with 14 days. That is a time period that you have to do all your inspections going back and forth to the property. So usually the average right now is about 10 days. So I would definitely fill that out as 10. That also can make or break your deal. And then this is for the time for them to get back after it's been delivered. So the negotiation of after the inspections are done to deliver the request. So, and then I'll just do 10, 10, 10. Okay. Scroll down. Name of the firm. That is us. So, Realty ONE Group Legend. Name of licensees. That's us. Samir Genid. Buyer's agent or whatever the relationship is. And information supplied by name of the other firm. It's very easy to understand these contracts. You just have to read them through. I just copy this and I paste it here. And they are the seller's agent. Commission. Do not forget this. You'd be surprised how many times that the commission is left blank. Go here. Check on the property. Okay. 2% minus 250. Great. Paste. Okay. If the buyer or sellers have a real estate license. It's important. Okay. Everything here that applies is the addendas that will be added to the contract in your zip forms if you click any of these. So, for example, does the buyer have to sell a property? Condos Association, coronavirus, FHA, VA loans, lead-based paint. So the ones that apply is the ones that you will check. For example, lead-based paint. Here is the provisions, the additional contractual provisions that you're going to add. So that could be, for example, buyer agrees to inspect the property only for structural and buyer. Okay, so whatever, or buyer agrees to waive the appraisal. Okay, so you can do that as well. There's this is all the extra provisions that you want to add to the contract or to the offer. So please make sure you list them. These are very important, especially when an offer is being presented to the sellers. So make sure that you put everything in here. Okay, we'll save that. We'll go back. Now, like I said, lead-based paint, there's already one in here. This is the one that you would want to have filled out, unless one is provided from the listing agent. And how to find that, you go back to the listing, you click on the letter D for documents, and look there. It's right. So they have a seller's disclosure and they have a lead-based paint. So we can send it right to the zip forms, or you can download it. So I'll send it. You click there. All right, you view the transactions. There it is right at the top. You click on it and then boom, it's sent. Seller's disclosure will do the same. Click there, view, click. It sends the documents over to the zip forms. You go back, click on zip forms, just refresh, and you'll see these documents pop up. Those are the ones that you want signed. Click on the transaction. Just close out of that. Go to documents. Here they are. They come up as PDFs. So you'll have your buyers sign these documents. Okay. They're already pre-filled and signed by the sellers. Great. COVID, I believe they might still be requiring this. I just get it signed just to be safe in case that we do need that document. Just the day that they went to go see the property. So if they saw it on Sunday, that's when you want to have it signed, the day they entered the property. This is waiver of inspection and or appraisal. If they are doing any of that, you can have them sign. Now, keep in mind, if you're waiving inspections, you still have the right to inspect the property. You're just saying you're pretty much buying the property as is. And if you're waiving in appraisal, unless it's a cash offer, there won't be an appraisal. But if it is with a mortgage, they still have to do the appraisal. So keep that in mind. This is got added. You don't need this one. That was from the contract when I selected lead paint. You could just delete that one because we already have it from the agent. Okay, so everything's pretty much ready to go. What we'll do is we'll do an e-sign on the top left. We'll click new. We'll select all the documents that we need. So you need CIS, dual agency if it is, affiliated business agreement, that's for the title, contract, and the hold harmless, and then lead paint, PDF, and seller's disclosure. Great. And then you just do 171 prospect offer. Okay. Click on next. You're going to select all the parties involved. So the buyers first. Okay. And then you would have you next. Oh, this one's been blocked. I mean, because it's probably as an example. We'll just change it. Okay. I'll just uncheck and click it again. There we go. Okay, so this is the order of the people that need to sign. So what we need to do is you make yourself second and you make the buyers first. What that means is they will both receive the email first right away at the same time. And then after they both sign, then you will sign. Now, if you have it as 1, 2, 3, it will be Sue, John, and then you as the agent. I prefer to do 1, 1, 2. Okay, next. Gathering all the signatures onto the document. Great. So you're going to scroll down, make sure the signatures and the dates all look good. Everything looks good there. Okay, that is already pre-filled. Looks great there. That looks good. Okay, your signature will be missing here. So what we need to do is select here. Oh, we got to select down to choose you, sign here, drag the signature here. Select date. Put the date there. Looks good. Initials are there. Always double check, make sure everything's pre-filled as you're going through this. All right, initials, great. Everything looks good. Good. Okay. Yeah, buyer, good. Dates look good. Okay, here's where you're going to have to do a little bit of work because this is the PDF. So you just go, click here, initial, drag it over. This is for Sue Smith. And then if you want to, you could copy, paste, paste. Now that helps when you want to have the same exact size boxes, and it just makes it quicker. Okay. And then change it to John, initial here. So for example, if I make the box a little smaller, if I want to. I can now copy, paste, paste, and it will give me the same exact size box. So I could fit it all. And then one person needs to check the box, okay? This is an optional, the blue is optional, but in this case it's red. They received the 10-day opportunity. Only one person can check it. This box tends to be a little difficult to find for the buyers when they're e-signing. So sometimes I will assign it to me just so I make it easier. It's just a check mark. So if you want to do that, you can, if your clients are not too familiar with this. So I'll just assign it to me. And then I need my signature here as well. The date, great. And then also you'll need the purchasers to sign here. And the date, you can adjust the size, just like that. Choose the other buyer, sign here, date, great. Make it a little smaller, there we go. All right, make sure everything matches and looks good. Scroll down to the bottom of the seller's disclosure. You have the buyers right here. Once again, sign, date, go to Sue, sign, date, and then you're the buyer's agent, so you need your signature and the date. Great, and that's it. And then you would just click next and it would send it out. Thank you.